We are Tim and Sandy, and of course Pablo, and we are living and travelling in our self-built Sprinter van, completing the big lap of Australia. In this episode, we're tackling a topic that's on a lot of people's minds when they have a dog and they want to come across to Tassie. The Spirit of Tasmania allows a range of animals to travel, including cats, dogs, some birds, and even ferrets. But today we're focusing on dogs. That's our experience, and we want to share everything we've learned to help you feel confident about your trip. We will take you through the process from booking your tickets to understanding the pet policies and ensuring your dog has a smooth journey. We are here to help make the process as stress-free as possible. So grab a cuppa, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into all the ins and outs of travelling with your dog on the Spirit of Tasmania. So as promised, we are bringing you an episode that shows you exactly what happens to your pet on the Spirit of Tasmania. There's a lot of people out there that don't understand and maybe don't go to Tasmania because they're a bit worried about their pet, and there's just not enough information out there with people taking their dogs on board. I mean, there's lots of information online,
but there isn't many experiences.
When I was looking for our dog, I found it really difficult to find people that actually are doing what I wanted to do and had a precious little pet like ours.
Especially small dogs. A lot of people took bigger dogs on there, and when they put them in the kennels, they were fine.
Yeah, they're a bit more
used to that sort of
thing.
I
think some dogs are a little bit more robust than us. And when you meet our dog in a second, you'll understand why we're a little bit worried. But stick around, as we'll tell you how it's done.
Yes, I definitely don't think robust is a word I would use for Pablo.
So, this is Pablo.
The star of the show. Our little prince.
As you can see, he's not robust. He's actually upset that I've removed him from the sun that he's just lying in. Now, we travel a lot with Pablo. If you're new here, we live and travel in our Sprinter van, and we've just recently come to Tasmania. Surprise, surprise. And he
lives with us full time
in this van. He
loves
van life, but
it depends on the mood. Some days he's just a sleepy chi. Other days he's up for kayaking. So you just never know with this one.
I can't get him to walk.
He's not a kennel type dog.
So as you can understand, I was a bit worried about bringing him over because, if you've owned a Chihuahua, they're like your little baby, and leaving him behind for the amount of time you have to without supervision is a little bit scary. So, yeah.
Yes, because it is a 9 to 11 hour crossing. So you want to be secure in the knowledge that your pet is going to be safe, because everyone loves their own pets in their own little way.
Yeah.
Some more than others, and some overly more than others. But
it's like I have a permanent 3-year-old with me travelling. So we're going to go through exactly what we did with Pablo, so you'll be stress free when you go on board, because if he can go, any dog can go. The first thing you'll need to do for your pet before they come on board is make sure they're vaccinated. Now, this wasn't something they checked, but if you're bringing them over here, there is lots of national parks, and you can't bring your dogs into national parks. So what you're going to have to do is get them looked after by somebody. To be able to do that, you're going to have to have them vaccinated. Not only that, on board, if you're putting the dogs in the kennels on board, you're going to need them vaccinated for that. Any dogs that are mingling with other dogs are going to need that vaccination certificate. So I would have that just in case you requested for it. I mean, we weren't, but he's vaccinated, so I was ready for that anyway.
It's best to be safe than sorry.
The second thing you're going to need to worry about is worming your pet.
And is mandatory.
It is mandatory. This they do check. So what you're looking for, I think you pronounce it hydatid in the description in your worming tablet. We got this one, Paragard. Now, when I went initially to get a tablet for him, he's normally on, I think it's NexGard.
Yeah, NexGard.
And I was told by a random pet store that
that would suffice.
That would be fine. even though it doesn't say hydatid on it, it doesn't need to. They all do all the worming. That is not true. When we hopped on board the ferry, the lady on board told us, well, as soon as she saw the package, she goes, oh great, you've got the right one. A lot of people don't get the right worm tablet, and that is an issue. They have to have, so as you can see on the front here.
And you can't just rock up with a box, they do want to see the receipt.
Yeah, it says here, oh, my damn glasses. My glasses. It says here, it tells you what worms, but it says including hydatid in dogs. The thing is, I think NextGuard does it to a certain extent, but if your dog has it, this one's the only one that actually kills it. So I think that is the issue with it.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, they really are on top of it.
Yeah, so you will have to show the packet, the empty foil.
Yeah, just show that you've given them the tablet. You haven't got to have video proof that you fed it to them. It's just they take your word for it that if you've got the receipt and you've administered it within 14 days
yeah, it's
prior.
14 days, within the 14-day period prior to the ferry, that's when you have to administer the tablet. So that's fine, they will check this.
With your puppy dog, we need some proof of hydatid tapeworm treatment. Yeah. If you've got that there.
The receipt
Paragard's the right thing, thank you very much.
Oh.
Yeah, and we got the receipt as well.
And so when did you do that?
Did it on the 2nd or something like that?
Yeah, within 14 days.
Yep.
That's the right answer.
So the third thing you'll need to do is fill out an indemnity form to allow your pet into Tasmania. The waiver just informs security that they are healthy, they don't have ticks, and they've had the tablet. But it has to be signed and supplied, I think.
Dated and viewed when they ask you
Yeah,
for the
I think
tablets.
they do give one to you to sign if you haven't got one when you're there. But I know I stress about stuff. I'd have this all prepared before I go on board. The fourth thing you'll need to do for preparing is if you decide to take your dog onto the Spirit of Tasmania and keep them in your RV. We'll get to that in a second because there's more things to that. But if you are wanting to keep them inside the RV, you'll need to ring them and cancel the kennel, and they will refund you the $22 that you've paid when you booked online. But they need to check to make sure you've got the right vehicle for them to stay in. But they also will give you a form, it's release form, releasing them of any liability or what happens to your pet inside the vehicle. So you'll need to do that, and that will need to be sent to them 24 hours before boarding. So when you pull up to check in, they will give you one of these. Now this tells the staff that are directing all the traffic into the Spirit of Tasmania that you have a dog on board, whether it be in the kennels or without. I believe they give you one regardless, don't they?
Yes, for the ventilated decks.
Yeah, I'm not sure because we kept ours in the RV, and I'll go into that in a sec. But they gave us one of these. This tells them that we need to be on a ventilated deck. If you don't have one of these, make sure you get one.
Otherwise they won't know you have a pet.
Exactly. Once you have... Oh no, that's while they're giving you this.
That's when you check in. So
yeah,
once you're through check-in, you go to the biosecurity. Then they ask you for the Paragard, the worming tablet proof. They also ask you, what was the other
They
one?
already had mine because I had to send it 24 hours
waiver
before.
as well.
Yeah.
The import form, that's the one.
The import form they checked, yeah. They had the other one already because the releasing of the liability one, they had that already because I sent it 24 hours before and I talked to somebody on the phone. So
then that's pretty much
and
it.
that was it. So also what you want to do here is, I know we've got there a couple of hours before and it may seem a little early, but take your dog for a pee. They have a
dedicated pet area
there. It's just fake grass. It's like my dog, he knows to pee on fake grass.
and they can socialise with other dogs as well. If you're using the kennels, then that could be a good thing anyway, so they're used to having the other ones there.
Yeah, I was a bit worried because I took him at like an hour and a half before we were boarding. I'm like, oh no, now he's going to have to wait so long for a bit. Wasn't an issue. The reason why I say do it straight away is after that, we moved pretty quickly. You just sort of go through each section quite fast, and I didn't have another opportunity to take him. So make sure you just pee him right in that pet area and then hop back in your vehicle. So by this time, it'll be about, I guess, dinner time for your pet. Please don't feed them. Just in case there's a little bit of...
give them their dinner early.
Yeah, just in case there's a little bit of...
if it's choppy or it's a rough crossing.
Yeah, so Pablo usually has breakfast in the morning and dinner at about 6 or 5:30 if you can get away with it. We didn't do that. We fed him in the morning and then fed him at lunchtime. We thought it was all Christmases that come at once.
And we made sure we wore him out during the day.
Yes. So we forgot to mention that earlier. Wear your dog out. We took him to the beach. We took him down to the high street. We took him shopping.
I think he was glad when we left him alone in the van. It's like, my goodness. It's been a full-on day. We took him absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, a poor little fellow. He was just like, please leave me alone.
He was almost asleep on his feet.
Yes, make sure you wear him out as well. So there's two options where you can put your pet on the crossing. Now, the first option is the kennels. So what you got to understand about the kennels is that they don't have any bedding, and it's quite, I would say it was a bit cold. So I would make sure you have a warm bed for your dog. If he normally wears a coat, put him in a coat, and I reckon put his favourite toy in there or something like that.
Yeah. The kennels, there's two positions to the kennels as well. Right at the back of the ship there's one. They're sort of slightly outside. They do have a roller shutter that comes down to seal them from the elements, but I don't think the temperature is going to be great in there. And the other ones are in the centre of the deck, and they have a big curtain that they pull across. They are attended throughout the duration of the trip as well, so they're always checking on your pets and make sure there's no distress there.
Also, if you have a small dog and wanting to put him in a large kennel, you can't. They're actually allocated by size of the dog, and there's a little chart and stuff. You can only have the size of what your dog is, you know. Even if there's a spare one, I don't think you can. I think the reason for that is if it's choppy, they're not going to get chucked about too much. Not that we had any issues, it was really, really smooth.
It was a really smooth crossing, so we were really, really lucky with that.
Yeah, it was really smooth. This option is also really good if you have a pet that has special requirements, such as medication, or they just need to be checked on for certain reasons during the night, or if you're day sailing during the day. You will need to provide a letter from a vet explaining what the conditions are, and you need to get this approved, but you can go down and either administer your medication or check on your pet if you have these parameters. You need to have this approved first from...
and you'll be escorted whilst sailing. You can't go onto these decks. These decks are locked down during sailing, so that'll be your only opportunity to go down to the deck to check on your pet if they need checking.
Yeah. Other than that, you're not allowed to go down and check. When you keep your dogs in the kennels, the good thing about the kennels is there's someone there watching them and checking on them, and I'm not sure if they give you updates. I don't think they do, but there is someone there making sure they've got water and making sure there's none of them are distressed. So that is a really good thing with those kennels. The second option you can do is leave them in your vehicle. Now this is only possible if you have an RV or a caravan, I believe. When you ring up...
Yeah, no passenger vehicles, so you can't leave them in your car or your people carrier. It has to be a mobile home.
Right. So when you ring up and cancel your... I don't know if they said camper. Anyway, when you ring up and cancel your kennel and that sort of stuff to get the form, all this, etc.
They check your vehicle.
Yeah, she went on and asked me questions about the vehicle. Public's catching flies. They asked me questions about the vehicle, and just to make sure that he was safe. I mean, I don't even think they need to do that. She was just but yeah, you have to have a vehicle that's not going to cause your dog any distress. So ours is perfect. He's used to this. It's his home. And as soon as I said we had a Chihuahua and is it precious, she laughed and went, yes, absolutely, you can keep him in there 100%. So that was good. A good peace of mind, and it's good. It's really good to have that option.
So whether if you choose the kennels or in your motorhome, that's purely down to you and what you think would be best for your pet.
One of the negative things about leaving them in the RV or caravan is that they're not checked on during the night or day. I wasn't worried about this because he's in his home, he's got ventilation, he's got water, he's got toys, he's got blankets, he's got every bed he could possibly want in here. And, you know, we have left him in here a couple of hours on the occasion. He's just used to it. He knows it's his house. So I didn't have any problems with that.
No, it's his safe space, yeah. I do believe you can take pets on the backs of utes if you've got the cage on the back of the ute, but they have to be inspected first.
Oh yeah, they have. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
They have to be inspected to make sure.
So if you've got a really big dog that's not going to fit in one of those
some
kennels.
Utes, you know, they travel in those cages, so you know if they're used to that, then that might be good.
But they have to be inspected first.
Alright, so what did we do for Pablo inside the RV as preparation? Now, I went a little bit overboard, but I saw that. It's what makes you comfortable, because I didn't want to be sitting up there going, oh, I didn't do this and I didn't do this, and I'd be stressed. So I just made sure I did everything. So he was completely comfortable. So I brought down, he sleeps with us at night. So I brought down one of our Doonas, we've got two, one of them down here and set up like a bed. So he would have a bed down here, same as he's used to. I also put his dog bed on the floor, which he loves, and put some toys in there. And on this side, he loves, I don't know if you can see his...
he loves his blanket.
Loves his blue blanket, so I had that down here as well on the other seat.
We spun the front seat around because he loves sitting on that.
He loves sitting on the front seat, so we spun that around.
He had many beds in many places just in case he lost the ability to walk anywhere. Or jump up on anything.
Yeah.
Due to the seasickness that he would be getting. He never got seasick.
I also, that's another thing, I also bought a pee mat. So he was trained as a little puppy, because I lived in an apartment before Tim. And he was trained to pee on a grass...
Mat. Just a fake grass mat.
Or if you want to get pee pads or something like that, if you're worried about him peeing anywhere, or her peeing anywhere. I put it down and thinking, oh, he'll figure that out because he's used to them.
You can get them for like $15, wasn't it? $15 from
20, I think it's 20. Yeah, we didn't need the bottom tray or... Anyway, we put that in here as well because it fit in the hall, just in case he wanted to pee, because it is a long time. Yeah, and I think... Oh, and I put the curtain up so we couldn't see the other dogs.
You were worried about him falling down into the footwells and stuff like that, like as if he was going to. He never goes there.
He never does anything. Just in case he opens the windows on his own.
So he could see out of it. We pulled the blinds down so it was dark and moody for him. The deck's lit anyway. So
I didn't put any music on for him.
Or a candle. Or some ambient music.
We should have put some orange lights and some music. When we left, he knew we were leaving. But... When I left there, I was quite happy with the setup. He had everything he needed, and off we went.
Also, we chose an overnight crossing as well because that's when he's going to sleep most. And he's used to sleeping most. During the daytime would have been a bit more... There's a lot more going on, I think.
Yeah,
so
nighttime crossing I would suggest.
Definitely recommend the nighttime one. Yeah. Because then he's rested in the morning when we're rested in the morning, and we haven't got to worry about settling him.
Yeah. So on board the ferry, because of all the preparation you've just done, you won't be stressed, will you? On board the Spirit of Tasmania, there is loads of things to do to keep your mind occupied, because I needed to keep my mind off him, because there's no point worrying about him because you cannot go down there and check on him. So you may as well keep your mind active. So you've done everything you can. And so we had heaps to do. We had filming and stuff, but there's also heaps to do on board the Spirit. We have made an episode on this, so if you haven't seen it...
We wore ourselves out enough so that we slept all night and we didn't have to worry about staying up all night.
We tried to film, and I looked look back at that episode now, I looked so tired. But anyway,
she was very tired from you were tired from just the anxiety and build up. The build up is worse than the reality.
Oh yeah,
absolutely 100%.
100%. It's
you
totally
will
fine.
Overthink this 1,000 times. You'll have images of cupboards opening and squashing your dog and everything, and your van falling over and him being upside down in it. Anyway. You will.
I would say though, if there is going to be a rough crossing, if it was really bad, I think I'd put him in the kennels, only so
he's monitored.
Monitored. But check the weather before you go. We're going to be fine. But if it's going to be rough, which I don't know how rare that is. I've never had a rough crossing on Tasmania. I've been over here 3 times.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. So back on board, there's loads to do on board there. There's cinemas, there's heaps of places to eat, there's
live entertainment,
bars, all sorts of stuff.
Quiet areas.
But again, please see that episode. We've done a full Spirit of Tasmania episode that takes you through what's on board, and to keep
Food's
them
good as well.
occupied. Oh, we also there's a movie cinema there, but we'd seen all the movies because we like movies, and so we actually downloaded a movie beforehand. There is like Wi-Fi on board, but anyway, and we just went in our cabin and watched the movie in there. And we
Spent the evening eating Maltesers.
So the next morning, we got up pretty early and got ready, all ready to get down there, nice and early to get see Pablo. We weren't allowed. They will tell you when you can actually go down. They won't let you down a minute before. So we just got up early then and had a coffee and kind of went, well, not much we can do, we'll just wait. When we got down there and opened the doors, it's like we've opened the door to Pablo having the deepest sleep of his life.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty was just woken up after 100 years. It was
yawned,
really? You're back? So soon?
I think he stayed up at the front in his favourite seat. He didn't come down to the 12 beds that I had down here. And
I think he had the best sleep of his life.
I was worried about him. The one thing I was worried about was him peeing. I didn't. Not that I mind him peeing in here on his mat, but I was stressed because he didn't pee on his mat when I got here, and I thought, oh no. So I took him out on the deck and tried to get him to pee. He wasn't going to pee because he's quite a clean dog.
He
He's
wasn't
like,
happy till he
I'm
got
not allowed
outside.
to pee here. So he went back inside and yeah, he was fine. We just took him.
It was fine. Also, if you were using the kennels, that's when you would go and collect your dog.
Yeah. If your dog's in the kennels there, go
the
straight
kennels.
there and pick your dog up from the kennels. Dogs.
Um,
I was watching them; they were pretty happy.
Yeah, they're pretty happy. What I will say, the only negative I could think of was during the crossing, car alarms are going off randomly. If your dogs are affected by that, I would recommend put them inside the vehicle. At least they're insulated from that sound. They're in the actual kennels themselves. There's only a curtain that they pull across, or if you use the one at the back, it's a shutter door, and I don't think that insulates them a great deal from the noise of the car alarms. And you can actually hear them up on the deck, but that's the only negative I can think of.
They do tell you to turn your car alarms off
but not many people know how to do that.
And so when we walked past some stairwells, we could hear some alarms. I was like, oh.
Yeah, or if there was a big bump or a wave, a random wave
happens,
that they hit, you just hear the car alarms going off.
Yeah, because the cars do move down there.
It's something they can't. Well, they say they do move, they just rock around. They're not.
Oh no, they're not sliding around. All in all, if you have any worries about taking your dog,
it's a very positive experience.
I do believe they're bringing out some pet-friendly cabins in the future. I'm not sure.
On 2 new ships that they're bringing out, they've got pet-friendly cabins.
I think there's only 8
but
per
they
ship.
are limited per ship. They're probably going to sell out really quick, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be at a premium price as well. Yeah,
so if that's you and you want to go to Tasmania and the cabins are booked out, or you want to go earlier than that, I wouldn't worry. They are totally fine on the Spirit of Tasmania.
Oh, the cost of the kennel was
$22.
$22.
Yeah. I know some other people had tossed up the idea of maybe one person should stay back and fly them over. That's $500 plus, I'd say. For $22, it's totally fine.
Yeah, especially if it's overnight and you know the dog sleeps.
Or free, you could leave them in your camper van.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching. I hope we've relieved some stress for you. I know I would have appreciated a video like this when I was looking, but I didn't find any.
So, hopefully
actually, no, I did find one. I did find one. She had 2, I think they were Pomeranians. I think I did find one. Sort of gave me a little bit of relief.
It gave you a little idea of the layout, especially if you've never been on the ship before. Is it going to be, you get these ideas, it's going to be in a dark, dingy, it's very well lit, it's very well ventilated.
Yes.
They are professionals, they do their job properly. Otherwise you'd be hearing about it all the time.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and
always leave a comment.
Always leave a comment if you haven't seen the Spirit of Tasmania.
And make sure you come to Tasmania.
Oh,
don't put it off.
If you're new here, yeah, we've just got to Tasmania and we're taking Pablo around and he's going to have the time of his life. So click that bell so you don't miss another episode. And enjoy our Tasmanian series. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.